Megabyte was a gentleman's fin, and you had to weigh 225 pounds to sail it. The example I use to diffuse that is a two-time North American champion sailing off of Marblehead, Mass. In open water. That we're going to do is going to be stepping the mast. One thing that I really recommend is when you put the boat up, keep your lines as organized as possible. It seems like it's complex, but the boat is really fairly easy once you do it. The spars are carbon fiber. What I usually do is stow the halyard in the mast step when the boat is being stored. I'm going to get rid of the upper section for now, because we don't have enough room for it. So this is carbon fiber. This is like so what you're going to do is this is easy, and bring the mast up to the step. And now I want everyone just to gather close. Make sure you're clear. Okay, did you hear that second thud? I'm hitting the top, and then it drops in. There's a knuckle that the mast slips over at the bottom of this. What that knuckle does is it self-drains the mast step if water gets in. If you look down below, there's a plate that has a hole in it. Water won't come in, but water will go out. And it's important, it's imperative, not important, that it drops all the way in. If it doesn't, if you're just on top of that first knuckle and you go out and you sail, you're going to take the butt of the mast and you're going to push it through. I mean, it's going to go like this because of the pressure, and you're going to push it through the front wall of your mast step. We don't want to do that.
I did that, yeah. I can vouch for what you're saying.
So, so now that we got the mast in, we're going to undo this. What I always do is the boom vane. I keep it rigged. Now you see, if you keep it just a simple twist around the mast, it comes out and it's perfectly aligned. Okay, just lay it down in the boat like that. Then next, and I always do the lines together. So this is the vane. Or this is the cutting hem, I'm sorry.
So that little step right there is very helpful when you're taking the boat down.
Yes.
To go ahead and wrap those things.
Yeah. When I'm putting the boat up, I take these and then as neatly as I can coil the lines. Okay, there's dual controls on a Megabyte. So what I do is just throw one on each side. I haven't run the lines yet because I want to clear this whole area first. And this is our vane. So I'm just going to lay it out. Okay. Can someone take that for me? Thank you. Okay. No, just then the outhaul. I coil and just stuff it in the end of the boom, just to get it out of the way. So take that, and spread it out. Right up by the gooseneck are 2 blocks. These are the turning blocks for your outhaul. If you skip this and go straight down to here, you're gonna, every time you tack, you're gonna put a lot of torque on the upper section. The mast has 2 alignment ears or pins to keep the 2 sections in perfect alignment. You'll break one of them on one side by skipping this step. So what you're going to do is go through the line.
So when things break, parts are available?
They won't. Yeah, and I'm not casting it as fragile. It's not by any means. I'm just maybe overstating a little bit. Okay, so once those lines are run through, then the boom goes into this pin.
Jim, you are the master here, but Leslie told me last year, and what I bought is a plastic washer that
Yeah.
I put in here. It just saves a little bit of wear and tear against this metal on metal. And I did that last year. It's in my car now. I just wanted to close it, got it.
So then, in order, the boom isn't going to, will slip out during rigging. So it comes with a piece of cord, shock cord that goes around. There's a hook on the other side that holds it in place. It's not going to go anywhere. So then you have these blocks, and your outhaul.
Goes on the outermost one.
Your outhaul
Out
goes to the outermost. So you go through this block and then to the top. Great. All right. Then the vane is the middle. So the vane has a small turnkey that fits in this slot. I always take a piece of shock cord to hold it in place,
Just in case.
so it doesn't come out. That's what this is. You can just use a piece of line or any piece of shock cord. I like that. And then I put the ball on the side to keep it out of the way. So now we have 2 lines, which really I leave attached. And the vane goes to the middle. Boom, we're done. All right. So what do we have left? Cunningham.
My hands are
Okay. So the Cunningham goes on the fittings that are on the deck. These that we went through, all those blocks were on the mast, and then there's 2 blocks left on the deck. One, and it goes on each side of the vane, and that goes into the bottom. And then don't forget stop, your figure 8 stopper knots, so it won't go through.
balls for those?
I do. My theory, and it's just a personal preference, the boat will come with balls for the upper and lower, and the vane has a handle. I probably have 15 of them in a bag, if anybody feels they like that. I never sailed with the balls because if you step on them, one, it hurts, but it'll throw you off balance. So I figure I can pull a knot as much as I can a ball. So that's just a personal preference. Okay, so the mast is set up. Your The boat has, which I really like, over lasers or the Melgus or the Arrow. It has a mid-sheet traveler, and what this allows you to do is, in lighter air,
Oh, it's at the top.
It's at the top.
Right there.
in lighter air, I always pull the traveler to windward, and then ease the main sheet to get the proper twist. We'll go through sail shape in a little bit. Typically, in most conditions, you're going to sail with it centered. In heavy air, if you get a big puff and you got to depower quickly, dump the traveler first, let it go to leeward, then play your main sheet. Your main sheet's going to be pleated right here. Both of these are right beside you. Now you notice I tie it together. The reason I do this is so I can cleat, I can uncleat the leeward traveler and or the upper. So when I tack, generally, I'm going to take the main sheet and let it out just about 6 inches, tack over, get to the high side, pull this off, and then pull the traveler up to where I want it for the next tack. But it gives you that control. Otherwise, you may find, especially in a breeze, oh shoot, I didn't undo the traveler, and you're sitting up here, and the traveler's on the wrong side of the boat.
So you adjust the traveler like
Play. That's a great depowering technique. Correct.
Would you ever sail to where the traveler is loose and on each side, so it's on one side, and then when you tack,
Yes.
Let it get
and then
together.
it automatically just goes, you don't have to readjust
Yep,
it?
you can. We have been experimenting. Lexic's boat has 2 travelers cars, and I had mine set up that way, and I went back to 1. But 2 traveler cars and a bridle. So this block is actually, there's 2 cars with a bridle looping between the 2, and then this block is sitting in the middle of that.
Did that because
It gives you a different angle of attack, if you will, on where that block is sitting. There's pros and cons to doing it both ways. You don't have to play it as much when you're working the bridle as you might as you're working this.
So, you don't have to catch all this question because I sail this boat and I don't move that traveler hardly at all. Because I don't know where I'm supposed to be pulling. If I'm sitting on that side and
Right.
the wind's coming over the starboard side, is my traveler supposed to be closer to me or farther out? In light wind, it would be farther in to me, right?
In light air, this is the high side of the boat. The boom,
Yeah, it's coming that
the
way.
boom is out there.
Light air.
So
it's
we-
supposed to be closer to me.
Yeah, so what I do is I bring it closer, but I'm also adjusting this so that I don't have as much pressure. The combination is what you're trying to do is have curvature in the leach of your sail, the back edge, and if you
It's important to say that where you set the controls are all aimed at getting a sail shape. So maybe it'd be helpful to concentrate on not so much where you set this line or that line, but what the sail shape
Right.
is, and then these lines can get that sail shape.
Right.
If
It's a
you're just
combination.
concentrating on,
Curve in my sail,
Yeah.
and
If you
I
concentrate
was able
on
to
put
do
this
that,
line
but
here, put that line
I don't
there.
think I adjust that traveler enough. I stay within the middle 6 inches almost all the time. I need to get a little braver.
Jim can address how that works along with the vang. I
Let
mean,
the
you can work the
traveler
vang, you can
go
work
to
the
where- what-
traveler and the sheet.
all the way loose to the
So-
leeward, or?
So the question is, let's say we get a puff, what are you going to do? If the boat's really heeling over, let it go. And this is going to go all the way with pressure on it, all the way over there, which is going to, what that does is it opens up your leach, dumps air from the top of the sail. This is beating, this is going to windward. Now, going downwind, of course, you're really gonna control the shape with your vane, but I typically leave it centered as a reference point. Then when you turn the corner on the mark, it's centered. It's not at either extreme, and you're gonna make adjustments up or down based on the wind and the sail shape. Moving back, we talked about your main sheet. Again, there's no captive pin because you want to let it go, take it over with you when you cross on attack. This cleat just gives you adjustment on your hiking straps, as does these slides. You can bring them in, bring them out.
So Jim, when you're tacking and you've got that there, and you've got your traveler, when you tack, are you unloosening that when you come over?
It'll depend.
Automatically?
I don't
or
have
not?
to. See, I mean, I can be on this side now, and I can let it
Pull
go.
Yeah, sometimes I can't get it pulled.
Yep. So that's why I like having it
That's
tied
nice.
together. So we talked about the main sheet. This is the bailer. Now, I have bailer guards on this boat. That is an option, but highly recommended. The reason being, without this is the bailer is called a super chute, which is a very efficient bailer, but if you step on it as you're tacking, step on it hard, you're going to punch it through the boat, and that's not good. So that the guard is keeping that from happening. So it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's up, and then if I want it to seal, you push down on that arm, and you can hear it. It'll pop. Boom. Now it's sealed.
So if you sail here at binder, wash those out when you come up, because otherwise that sand sits in there.
Yeah.
Next time you take the boat, it's great. It just doesn't clean itself very well.
Yeah.
That's why-
And that's really
Just remember
important.
that.
Like I reworked the bailer in that boat, and this was so full of sand it would hardly move. But you got to get that out, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to seal it. Those granules are going to keep it from being able to do that. There's two bailers in the boat. This is the bailer you're really going to use if you get in trouble, after capsize or something. You can use this one. This is bigger, and it operates the same way.
I've never understood how bailers work.
Suction.
So you capsize, you come back up, and you've got water in there.
You won't.
You won't, but it's okay. I guess it's
Well,
not.
anyway, you got water in the boat for
Yeah.
something. Go ahead with your question. You have water in the boat.
How do you get rid of it? How do the bailers? Do
Well,
you have
you-
to be moving to?
You got to be
Yes.
moving.
Yeah.
And
It's a Venturi effect.
yeah,
It sucks the water out because of negative pressure.
And it works pretty well.
works very well.
Excellent.
But
Doesn't work so well on the Banshee.
But if you're in light air and you're moving a little bit and you open it up,
It could fill up with water.
you're gonna see water come in rather than go out.
It does have a little flap on the outside underneath the boat.
Right.
Okay.
Mine do.
Yeah,
I've been
these do too.
kind of bailer challenged in my boats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, the way most water gets in is, we beach launch, so you get the water. The boat is out in the water, and when you get in, you have water in your shoes, on your legs, and that's the water that's in it. And typically, that water is going to be very gritty. You're going to have sand
See, and
So-
that's where you end up
So
with
how did
sand.
you clean the sand out? Did you have to unscrew the baler and pull it out?
I just went over with a hose and had it up, hosed, went down below, hosed, put it down, hosed. It's just, you just gotta work it out. I mean, there was a lot of sand in the cockpit, and that has to get out, otherwise that ends up in the baler too. One thing that I always would do is, especially on a beach, if I'm getting in the boat, I'd lift one leg, walk it, in the water, get in, sit, and then do the other one before I bring it in. And what I'm trying to do is keep the sand out of the boat.
Then you sit in the boat and dig all the green stuff off your feet.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's on a perfect day when you still get
Yeah,
your centerboard
we got a
and
lot.
tiller down before you take off.
Let's see.
It's like, whoa, that's a perfect day.
All right, now let's
Got geese too.
now let's look at the blades.
That's their fire. What do you call that green stuff?
It's a range of species.
The range of species.
It's the dam course. Gets high, it's bad, and they'll open up the upper dams when the water gets high, so you got more of a reflow.
Okay. Let's look at putting the rudder head on. There's a pin that has a cotter on the top and a captive pin on the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this on top of the lower and line up with the upper. And then drop this through. Push it. Make sure this is pushed all the way down so that the pin is protruding. And then make sure the captive is on there so you don't lose it. Okay. Rudder head is on. Then
I have to take that off.
next is putting in the blade. And this is new. Now, this is new and it's snug. If I just push down, I'm going to lift the boat. So what I do is get it started, and then really a motion back and forth, fore and aft, gets you to play it.
It'll slide in better if you get it wet first.
Yeah. If we're down by the lake, if we're down at the lake, I'll take the blade and get it wet in the water first. We didn't have that opportunity. So what I'm going to do, simulate that using McLube sail coat, and I'm going to actually now the reason this fabric is here is to take the vibration and rattle out of the board. But see, going back and forth, it's going down. Once it gets wet with water from the lake, it works much better.
Is that usually easy when you're waiting to take that off
Yeah, when it's wet.
when it's wet?
Yep, but I still have to use two hands to pull it up.
To pull it up?
Yeah, you might be stronger than I am. I can't, I don't have the right angle enough to be able to do it with one hand. So I have to get back here, pull it up with two, and then learn how to pull the other.
And in a little bit, the other thing, and I haven't done it with this, I did it with the boat that Steve, you were sailing, is I take a carpet knife and I shave down the bristles, and it makes it much easier.
So the glue wasn't enough to fix that problem
On yours?
on the extortion.
No. Well, it made it as easy as this, but I wanted it easier. So yeah, I shaved off some of the pattern. Here, but we don't put it in as we're rigging the boat because once you get the sail up, the boom isn't going to be able to pivot. So I always take this and I slip it under this hiking strap, and that keeps it from flopping around. So that kind of, that's what you use these for, reach down, you know, pull yourself in if you need to. Questions? Leszek, any additions?
Yeah, and talking about the grab rails, I actually, because I've been over quite a few times, I use those front toe straps, those front hiking straps. Also, I actually sometimes grab the firewood to pull me in, like a porpoise, like a seal. You know?
You may want to mention that the block on the main sheet has a ratchet on it. Make sure that you run your line through it properly.
And then, I don't know if you hear the clicking. So the ratchet's on, and you can turn the ratchet off. So in light air, I'll have it off.
If you run it through there backwards, you're going to have a heck of a time.
Bad.
Yeah, you're in trouble. You don't want to do that.
This and so I come like one more lesson. I soak in one more thing. There's a wind monitor on the front that you can put. That's probably been the best thing I ever won in my life. Whatever we did, because it just gives you such a good idea of where that wind's coming, and the boat is tippy, so I have to sit here. I mean, I put my leg right up against here, and sometimes I put one leg here and I sit this between, depending on how much I'm
Everybody should sit
trying to
there.
hold the boat. I mean, you basically put one foot up and one foot down underneath those, and you jump both. But the wind bang is helpful because you can watch that rather than do this topsy-turvy thing and twist yourself. It
So,
just helps.
so do you have the same kind of wind vane that Leszek does?
It's just a little
Let-
bitty
I'll
plastic
get
thing
it.
you put on the front.
And let me get the carpet knife to show you that. It steers better.
Well, I had it up but I only pull it up about that far. You come up farther than that,
Yes.
Leszek, you too?
Yes.
Like last week, you
Yes.
would have been up twice how far?
It all depends about angles. So if you're going straight down, you can put it almost right up.
On the
It
runs,
also depends on wind pressure.
I've witnessed other Megabyte sailors and experienced myself on the run the boat getting into a rock,
Sure.
like
Oh, a
forward
death
aft rock. To me, that putting weight astern it helps prevent that rock. So my question is for those of you sailing a run with your weight forward,
We're talking, general. In heavier air, you're going to you want to pull your sit back, keep that, get the bow up.
because there's a lot of torque
Right.
forward like that. So okay. For the,
Is in front of the mast, so it's not getting deflection. Sharp things and a new blade don't. So again, if you wiggle it fore and aft, it'll come right up. So this is a carpet knife. It has a blade, and then it also has some teeth. And just doing this, I mean, you can see the results are good. The teeth are better.
I'll tell you, Sarah rated.
Yep.
I think Leszek needs a trim when you're done.
It gives you a very good clean shave.
I was going to say for somebody.
I just haven't set them.
Oh, okay.
That line is loose. Okay, so I'm on a port tack now. I'm going to tack it. He's going to come over here. And what will happen is the travel will come down here, especially when, and of course it can't go any further. Those two ends we want to have tied together. This is really helpful, as Jim said, because it gives you continuous control of what's happening with this travel. And it's horrible if that knot comes undone, because your travel could be in the wrong place and it could really be in danger. So, okay, so your booms come over here, the travel's right over here. I will pull the tension, okay, a lot of tension on this. I'll put it down. If I need to, because of wind pressure, I'll pull the bang, snug it even more if I need to. It's only if the wind comes up and I'm really struggling to keep the boat level, because that's the ideal. And I then pull that towards the midline, or wherever I can see the sail shape is very functional and the least weather help. So cold.
So I've heard the term weather helm, but what is it exactly?
Here, you feel a lot of pressure on the rudder, and
The boat's trying to go up into the wind. The boat's trying to turn into the wind.
yeah, you're
Pull
fighting
on it.
you're fighting the tracking of the boat with the tiller. Because if you let go, the boat's just going to head right into it.
It's weather helm or lee helm. Weather helm, the boat tries to turn into the wind. Lee helm, the boat will
Turn
away from it. Almost no boat ever has lee helm. They all have weather helm.
And it's a wonderful experience getting the balance in the boat. It's not always like that for me, but being able to get balance in the boat, so the power in the sail, the power in the boat, my body weight in the right place, sail shape's right, and you virtually hardly have to put any pressure on that tiller extension. It's just like a light feather. Then you know things are really well
You've got
done
this,
and
you
going
can
well.
kind of do it with 2 fingers and the boat's going straight, that's fine. When you gotta hold on to this and you're
It's
you're pulling it to you, trying to keep the boat going down, if I put it in the middle, it goes up, that's weather helm. So that's just like dragging something in the water behind
And
you.
the problem isn't here. The problem is up here.
You adjust your sail until you feel that your tiller is just nice.
And you can
Sweet.
still have lots of fun sailing even with a bit of weather help. I still have weather help lots of the time because it's a continual winds coming and going, especially here. And so it's hard to keep right, but it's fun to get that challenge.
So
It's really fun.
you feel the weather helm in the
So,
I've never got that.
one thing that we didn't talk about is going upwind. Boom position. Boom to this corner. That's the right alignment. If it's out here, you're not going to point. If you're inside this line, you're going to stall. You're just going to. I mean, you're going to think, oh, I'm going fast, and then every other megabyte is just walking right by. But this is the best alignment. If you notice, I have little black marks. Those are guides that I use for different air or different positions. And so once you get the boat and you dial in some settings, those are just guides. But it's a quick reference if you tack, if you're docking at the start, to start with.
So is there ever a time when you try to get the boom to go in the middle or even this
No.
on the other side?
Don't want to.
They won't want to. And you'll stall out.
You'll feel it.
Stay on real except for initial, you start having all of it.
Because what I've experimented with in my, from real boats is if you're right at the 45 degrees and you want to turn up a little bit, and I literally grab the boom and try to pull it a little bit farther than it wants to go to see if I can, cheat the opposite or cheat this. But I
want to do with sail shape.
But I'm just making this up. So I probably am not doing anything that will help you do that.
Your boat's different than this. You have a bang?
Yes,
Okay.
but no treble.
Okay, if the bang is loose and the sail has a lot of curvature to it, and you pull the boom in more, okay, and certain things there, you just still sail out there, and that's ideal. It'd be better to let the boom out, tighten the bang up, and take that twist out of the sail.
You just make sure you keep some twist in that leech. Once that leech gets razor tight, your airflow is stalling.
So the back end of the sail should not be real
Razor tight. No. You want some curvature.
But you want to iron it out when you're going the other hand.
Typically, on this boat, you want the second batten parallel with the center line of the boat.
Like just a mid.
Yep. You want to line that up.
Say that again?
The second batten
in alignment with the center line
How are you gonna do that?
by looking up.
So if the center, okay, so we're on a starboard tack. If the center batten is in the center of the boat, where's the boom?
Not the center batten, the second.
Second batten.
Yeah,
Okay,
the first batten is the rigid, and the second batten
from the top down.
from the top down.
Okay, so we got a batten that's in the middle of the boat.
Right.
Where's the boom on the starboard tack?
It'll be right here.
And the sail's over this way?
No. Well, I mean, you have curves.
Are we saying the same thing? Middle of the boat. I look up and there's a batten there.
Yeah, it's not, it's curved still. But yeah, look up and see. It'll be there.
Obviously, maybe it's parallax.
You're saying you want the center batten on the
Second season.
Second,
Yeah, I'll have to have the sail. You have to show me that with the sail.
I read what he said, and I had the same question you had when I read it. But it must be something you see when you're sailing.
Yeah.
So Leslie, if you start with your day high, you let your, on a day with winds around 10, let's say, then you're letting this right up, pulling this down until you get into some heavy wind. That
No,
way
no.
at the beginning of your last talk, and I.
Okay, so
He snugs the vein.
yeah. When I start off, I'll check the cunning, and that's the first thing that I check.
Pull that down.
If my foot is feeling
Pull the alcohol.
looking too loose, I'll pull the alcohol, and then I'll go out. I'll pull the main sheet in, get it kind of set, and then check the ramp and snug it. Just
It's
snug it.
not when you do that.
Just snug it. And leave it like that. If the wind is pretty constant for the race, it'll stay like it.
And when it gets tighter or harder winds, you're pulling it down.
Typically, yes.
Yeah, high wind to top,
Yeah.
or light wind to top.
Yeah. So at the weight of the sail, this is getting tighter and
I
tighter.
just, you had that pulled down pretty
Oh, yeah.
hard. I was like, yeah, that was.
But that helped me keep the boat pretty level
Yeah, you did
in
really
some
well.
quite high chop. I mean,
It was high top. I
Gene
know.
will remember, there was quite a strong wind in that first race.
And those races were what? What was the distance on those? Do you remember?
They were long.
Each
Well, I
leg,
know, I was
Over
trying to
an hour.
remember,
each leg was a mile.
Yeah.
because that's,
It was wonderfully long, but
if
they
we
were long.
prep to go there, I think we have to be prepped to do that
No,
long
no, no, no.
sail.
We're
We're gonna
talking
do
about
individual
Carlisle
long,
Lake,
we
Illinois.
fly stuff. We don't do anything that long. I mean, we do short races, but we need to do like long races to prep.
That's
We're
right.
gonna take teams out there. Yeah.
And do squats.
Yeah.
And I think
Get yourself
like,
ready.
the part of difference is like here because the small
Yeah,
leg
it's a,
and the
I
wind
have
is
a
very
speed pump
wild,
that I put in
you
it.
know,
And,
it's constant. But when you go to a bigger
there was a
lake where
Canadian
winds are
maker
more
that was
constant,
making
probably
sails.
bigger setup thing.
And,
Right,
you know.
it's just that
and I
it's a
was
longer
buying
race.
for the
You're gonna have
class.
to hold that
I'd buy
position.
12 at a time, and the consistency
Yeah,
was
Need to
really getting
prepare
bad.
people for that concept.
So I changed sail makers.
Here, that's
to
the only
Mad
concern I
out
have
of
is
Madison,
exactly
Wisconsin.
the opposite.
And,
It's like
and we were
I don't think we even
working
have
on the
much
sail shape.
distance to
And
do
I
all
used
those
to
changes
shoot
that
up
needs
at
to
the-
be
at the
done because
guide.
the wind is so wild. You're like, you
It's a
know.
great way to practice all the maneuvers.
Very good.
Because it's a straightaway stuff.
So the red is here.
On the outhaul. In the outhaul is this. So this attaches to the sail, and as you put it on, it pulls the foot of the sail tighter and tighter. Typically, if you're looking at where the main sheet is, I want the foot of the sail about a fist away from the boom. That gap, again, that's a general guide, but
Sail's got just about
it's gonna curve, and that's about right. You may tweak it once you get out there and you feel the balance, but that's generally the way you want it. The Cunningham, which is the black line, the bottom line, I probably use that the absolute most of all the controls. And what that does is it attaches to the Cunningham Kringle at the left of the sail, and that tightens the sail from the head down. And what you want, when you put the sail up and there's no Cunningham, you're going to see wrinkles. And you're going to want to pull those wrinkles, not razor sharp. You want to leave a few little fingers.
The sail will wrinkle two different ways.
Yeah.
If the Cunningham is loose, the wrinkles will go this way.
Right.
And as you tighten it down, it'll flatten, and then the wrinkles will go this way.
Right. And that's too tight.
And that's too tight.
So you need to be in between. And I tend to err to leave a little bit of wrinkle in the sail.
This way.
This way, correct. Thanks,
Say
Dean.
that again. Leave a little bit, repeat your.
Leave-
When we just put the sail up, the sail is kind of wiggling
Then I'm pulling my
this way.
cutting end down.
Okay? As you tighten that up, it pulls those out and becomes flat. If you keep pulling it down, it'll start wrinkling the other way.
Right. About 6
Yeah, and that's not good.
Is there much
That's too
Cunningham
far.
adjustment while
Center of effort forward, it's pushing it, turning the boat down. If you let it come back, then it's pulling out, because this is a pivot point. So tightening the Cunningham pulls that center of effort forward on the sail.
So you'd like to have the belly centered over the centerboard?
60-40 is
Yeah.
is your guide.
You're just tuning it, you're tuning it to take, so it's a weather helm out.
60-40, what direction?
Well, I mean, typically, your pocket is gonna, I mean, you got a triangle, is gonna run, 40% back.
I think I'm not able to see where it's at. I just, if I got a lot of weather helm, I tighten the Cunningham so the weather helm starts to move. And if I get to the Cunningham so tight that I'm starting to get wrinkles in it, then it's too tight.
So how much play do you usually have to go back and forth with the Cunningham? Is it not
Inches.
too much?
Yeah, because the sail is only moving about 3 or 4 inches.
'Cause
And
I've
this
done
is
that a
this is
lot.
what, 2 to 1? So this would be
Yeah.
6 to 8 inches.
I've done that a lot in my Banshee, the old boat, and I can never feel like there's any difference. So I presume the sail's gonna
We're gonna,
be a lot more responsive in this boat.
our goal is for the rain to stop, and we're gonna put up the sail on land and go through this same
And then you can
discussion.
see a lot.
You take the mast. Now this has 2 pins that get captured around each. So gently set it in the slot, and then slide it in.
So you put those pins or those pins come with?
That's what when the mast was made, that's what I had
Okay.
them do. Those dog ears pop off, and they're big and bulky, so we came up with this solution. The way they're really doing it is there's a pin that's recessed and there's a channel that's cut, and you slide it in, and there's a 3/8 inch stainless steel plug that is captured in that groove. Okay, so we have it put together. We have the halyard. And one thing that I like doing is getting them even, and then just tie them. Just do a real simple loop knot to tie them together so one doesn't take off on you. Okay, then we make sure the mast step is clear. Alan, I want you to take a look, and you can see that knuckle that I'm talking about, that you're putting this inside.
Yeah.
Okay, and then generally
Can I see how heavy it is?
yeah, try right here.
Okay.
So generally what I do is grab it, I set it at the hole, get it all the way straight. I'm holding it up, obviously, and then slowly drop it in, boom, and it's in. Okay?
So because you center in, you didn't have it go dum dum.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's no need to, just have it
Sure.
fall in. I like things to last, and I'm a little fastidious, so.
And if you find the chafe mark on the mast is above this plate here,
Sure.
you're
it's
not
not
there.
properly in.
Yeah.
It must, the
Gen-
chafe
generally,
mark must
when
be.
you put it in there, you'll feel it.
Yeah.
You'll feel it.
Yep.
Okay, so as long as you feel it fall in there, then you know it's there. If you're not sure,
This is at the point where, you know, I'll set this on just so I'm sure no lines are captured underneath it. So that just goes on and locks.
what do you need there? Is that tightened now?
Yeah.
Oh, you tightened it up, good.
And